I was going to read this in a faux British accent, but then I realized since W.B. Yeats was an Irish nationalist, that would probably be a bit insulting to him. So I will just read it in my normal, boring American dialect. W.B. Yeats had some interesting theological. By the way, I'm actually not 100% sure if it's pronounced Yeats or Yeats. I'm pretty sure it's Yeats. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been in college. But anyway, he had some interesting theological beliefs, which I'm not going to go that much into because, quite frankly, I think they're utter BS. But they did make for some very interesting poetry. Basically, he believed the world went in, I think it was 2,000-year cycles. So at the beginning of each 2,000-year cycle was an event that would sort of set the tone for that cycle. And this is not a perfect interpretation. I don't fully understand his mystical beliefs, but they, like I said, they made for some interesting poetry. For example, probably his most famous poem, at least known by people who, have a casual interest in him, is The Second Coming. I'm not going to read it, not because it's not a good poem, but because I'm in way too good of a mood to read a poem this dark right now. But I am going to read Leda and the Swan. Now, Leda and the Swan also relates to these ages, because he believed that one age was the pagan, the age of mythology and heroes. Once again, I might be misinterpreting this or misremembering this, and that was brought about by the conception of Helen of Troy between Leda, who was a princess of some kind in Greece, and Zeus in the form of a swan. Basically, Zeus took the form of a swan and raped her. There's no way around it, and she laid 2 eggs. Out of one egg came Clytemnestra and either Castor or Pollux, I'm not sure which, and they were mortal. And on the other egg came Helen, because they were the children of Leda's mortal husband. And on the other egg came Helen, Helen of Troy, faced lots of 1,000 ships, started the Trojan War, blah 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 blah. And either Castor or Pollux, whichever one didn't come out of the other egg. Castor and Pollux, you may know, are the Gemini, the twins. By the way, I do not approve of or have anything to do with astrology. This is mythology, not astrology. Although I will admit they are related fields in a loose way. The twins, but they weren't really twins. They were actually half brothers. One was Zeus's son. One was Leda's husband's son, whose name I feel I should know, but I don't. But anyway, you know what? I'm getting way off track, so let's just read Leda and the Swan. Alright. Leda and the Swan by W.B. Yeats. A sudden blow. The great wings beating still above the staggering girl. Her thighs caressed by dark webs, her nape caught in his bill. He holds her helpless breast upon his breast. How can those terrified fingers push the feathered glory from her loosening thighs? And how can body laid in a white rush but feel the strange heart beating where it lies? A shudder in the loins engenders there a broken wall, the burning roof and tower, and Agamemnon dead. Being so caught up, so mastered by the brute blood of air, did she put on his knowledge with his power before the indifferent beak could let her droop? Now my favorite line there is the broken, by the shudder in her loins engendered there, the broken wall, the burning roof and tower, and Agamemnon dead, because Helen of Troy was born from this coupling. And we all know what destruction Helen of Troy caused. She caused the downfall of Troy, indirectly. I think it really was Paris' fault, although Helen didn't help matters. She was kind of wimpy about everything. Although Aphrodite did kind of threaten her with death when she, said she wasn't after the situation anymore, so maybe she can't really be blamed, but up this throne voluntarily, according to legend, in favor of being a poet and a philosopher. So, a good poetic thing to write a poem about. Who will go drive with Fergus now, and pierce the deep wood's woven shade, or dance upon the level shore? Young man, lift up your russet brow, and lift up your eyelids, maid, and brood on hopes and fear no more, and no more turn aside and brood upon love's bitter mystery. For Fergus rules the brazen cars, and rules the shadows of the wood, and the white breast of the dim sea, and all disheveled wandering stars. Oh, damn, that's beautiful. I love W.B. Yeats. Even if I don't, he's just, it really is, because a lot of the modernist poets I feel are a bit pretentious, shall we say. Well, not a lot of them, but they have an air of, oh, we're doing something new and amazing. And W.B. Yeats might have that, but he's so beautiful, I don't care. I also like T.S. Eliot, but even he's a little bit pretentious for me, but anyway. Should I read Easter 1916? Or is this video gone on for long enough? Oh my goodness, so many good poems. I want to read, where is it? Sorry, I should have picked this out ahead of time. Just enjoy the sound of pages turning, I guess. Let's read Sailing to Byzantium. This is a poem I'll admit I never really quite got, but it's so almost stark in its imagery in certain places, and then has a very Byzantine floweriness to it that I just love this poem. Sailing to Byzantium. This is no country for old men. The young in one another's arms, birds in the trees, those dying generations at their song. The salmon falls, the mackerel crowded seas, fish, flesh, or fowl, commend all summer long whatever is begotten, born, and dies. Caught in that sensual music all neglect, moments of unaging intellect. An aged man is but a paltry thing, a tattered coat upon a stick, unless soul clap its hands and sing, and louder sing for every tatter in its mortal dress. Now is there singing school but studying, monuments of its own magnificence. And therefore I have sailed the seas and come to the holy city of Byzantium. O sages, sing in God's holy fire, as in the gold mosaic of a wall. Come from the holy fire, burn and gyre, and be the singing masters of my soul. Consume my heart away, sick with desire, and fasten to a dying animal. It knows not what it is, and gather me into the artifice of eternity. Once out of nature I shall never take my bodily form from any natural thing, but such a form as Grecian goldsmiths make, of hammered gold and gold enameling, to keep a drowsy emperor awake, or set upon a golden bough to sing to lords and ladies of Byzantium of what is past, or passing, or to come. Wow. Maybe I should. You probably all already know this, but I'm going to say it anyway because I like to hear myself talk, obviously, otherwise why would I have a YouTube channel? Byzantium was the original name of the city, of the village that became Constantinople, which was the capital of the Roman Empire for nearly 1,000 years, after Rome became all, icky and run down. Constantine the Great said, hey, let's build a new capital city. And so he built in dirt. He took this fishing village, Byzantium, and made it the capital, Constantinople, which is today Istanbul. And it was the center of Christian culture and scholarship for close to 1,000 years. And through the city of Byzantium, even after the Western Roman Empire fell, the Roman Empire, they still Byzantine Empire is a term created by historians. They never called themselves that. They were the Roman Empire. Lasted for, when was it? 1400s that it collapsed. 1200s. Darn it, I can't remember exactly. I'm not a history major. Granted, I'm just as uncertain about English things. I am an English major. I'm just going to read Yeats' footnote, and then we'll sign out for this video. Yeats' footnote for this poem is that I think that if I could be given a month of antiquity and leave to spend it where I chose, I would spend it in Byzantium, a little before Justinian opened St. Sophia and closed the Academy of Plato in the 6th century CE. I think that in early Byzantium, maybe never before or since in recorded history, religious, ascetic, and practical life were one, that architect and artificers spoke to the multitude and the few alike. The painter, the mosaic worker, the worker in gold and silver, the illuminator of sacred books, were almost impersonal, almost perhaps without consciousness of individual design, absorbed in the subject matter with that vision of a whole people. Byzantine architecture and design, you see gold and mosaics. That's look up Hagia Sophia.